The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.
After the Special Parliamentary Committee on General Elections' fifth public hearing in June, the committee will now proceed to finalize its report. With its partners including the National Research Institute, Institute of National Affairs and Transparency International PNG, it will deliver recommendations aimed at improving the electoral process to enable free, fair and safe elections in the future. The hearing had key stakeholders with their respective reports and recommendations to assist the committee in its inquiry into the conduct and operations of 2022 national general elections. Key stakeholders like Simon Sinai, Chief Electoral Commissioner from the Papua New Guinea Electoral Commission with his team, and Terence Frawley, Director General of the National Intelligence Organization, with his team submitted their respective reports and recommendations to help the committee. The report is expected to be tabled in the next Parliament sitting in August. The people of Kutubu have little to nothing to show development-wise, despite hosting oil and gas resources that are contributing to millions to government coffers. The Maraperoso government is seeing tangible service making their way slowly but progressively into the LLG.
With not much development happening in Kutubu, the people of Foe and Faso went about with life while the state carried on with oil and gas operations in their backyard. Leaders of Kutubu local level government are changing what should not have been the norm. LLG President John Pipikila is happy to see women and girls access health services with better transportation like dinghies, vehicles and even an ambulance. Health centers in Foe and Faso were damaged by the earthquake. Kutubu LLG is addressing these by rebuilding the health centers and staff housing.
20 years where Kutubu has been come up dark. Na Papua New Guinea kisim cheche long Kutubu. Kutubu oil flow and Papua New Guinea kisim benefit. So before government igam no one looks sabe plo Kutubu. So mila talk thank you long Marape government. Na Marape government ni lugi mo sema blandi lili change lo Kutubu. Because me and president pro like Kutubu local level government underneath long government long William Tipek Powi.
The LLG purchased 12 outboard motor dinghies for those living on Lake Kutubu. It is working closely with churches to build infrastructure.
So me like him support, more support from government. Some of fund it must come to Kutubu because Kutubu, why me talk to Australia Kutubu and oil and gas. Na no development come up to Kutubu. No got culture, no got good housing, no got law and order. Rodi go bagarap. So me starting, me go start 2 months now. Me starting, me work on them church, me work on them housing, me work on them school, me work on them law and order, me work on them community. Na me awareness run down law in cell of Foina Faso.
The president is appealing to the people to support the LLG, work with each other for the sake of a better living standards.
18 council, Mipla work close to through one them Santos. Now Mipla work close to through one them Southern Highlands provincial government. Now Misabe also minister this year, but me making plan is something in Foi na Faso.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Sohe MP Henry Amuli has retained his position as chairman of the Sohe District Development Authority in Northern Province on Wednesday and chaired the first DDA meeting for the district. Kokoda local level government president Willie Pinga has acted in the position since January 24th this year. He handed over the chairmanship to Amuli before the DDA meeting commenced. Amuli's election petition filed by former MP Delilah Gore was nullified by a national court decision on January 24, 2023 and stayed through a successful Supreme Court appeal on June 8, 2023. Pinga said service delivery in the district was affected because of the court case. Amuli thanked the Sohe people and Pinga and staff of the DDA for their patience and understanding during the court battle. He is happy the service delivery and continue with a stable leadership. The Worldwide Fund for Nature this afternoon launched the Environment Teachers Resource Book in Port Moresby. Conservation of the Kikori River Basin, a teacher's resource book for primary schools, provides teachers with a comprehensive guide to incorporating concepts of biodiversity, conservation and sustainable natural resource management into the classrooms of schools across Papua New Guinea. 200 copies of the Environmental Education Teachers Resource Book was officially launched today through the partnership between the PNG Department of Education, the Research and Conservation Foundation of PNG, the Silent Foundation and the Worldwide Fund for Nature.
The work that TVWAN carried out in Kikori River Basin, there was a lot of scientific research and studies. And these studies culminated in the writing of this book based on the basic science that came out, as we all know. So this book is fine-tuned and unique to the Kikori River Basin, but the science is general science that we all know about. It fits well within the education curriculum development because TVWAN worked very closely with National Department of Education and the Curriculum Development Unit.
This teacher's resource book was developed to promote conservation of Kikori River Basin's natural wealth and to share knowledge by supporting the PNG Department of Education school curriculum.
I think it's very important, the responsibility of looking our environment, looking after our environment. Of course, it's a global issue, but we have to think globally and, of course, act locally on whatever we can contribute into our from our country to the global picture.
The teacher's book has 6 learning units all linked to natural and social science subjects in the primary school curriculum. It is intended to be taught in the primary schools in 5 provinces with specific links to the Kikori River Basin: Enga, Southern Highlands, Hela, Gulf and Western. New Island Province is preparing to receive His Excellency the Chinese Ambassador Zhang Fanhua for a 3-day official visit from Sunday, July 2nd to Tuesday, July 4th. 6 months ago, the Chinese embassy in Port Moresby assured the New Island government to contribute 1,000 sets of desks and chairs, but have given an extra 224. The ambassador's visit is officially hand over the school materials. The provincial government has planned to allocate the desk and chair sets to 10 secondary schools, each to receive 70 sets. 5 TVET schools will receive 60 sets each. The ambassador will be at Mangai Agricultural Secondary School to do the official handover of classroom furniture on Monday, July 3rd, 2023. Little Hazel has received timely assistance for heart surgery today. Mother of the 2-year-old Leah Wangi had written to the management of Ramoniko needing assistance for this life-saving surgery, and was immediately given the funding she and her 2-year-old needed to travel to Port Moresby. Pediatrician Dr. Tina Yarong had been at the forefront since Hazel's condition came to her attention. She travels with the young patient.
Hazel's nature of illness is Down syndrome before she was diagnosed with a heart condition. Young Hazel was born normal and in 2021 was admitted for pneumonia when a heart murmur was picked up. Madang Provincial Health Authority pediatrician Dr. Tina Yarong outlined Hazel's condition.
She has a patent ductus arteriosus, that's a condition. And they're going to do a duct ligation. which means that the duct that's in between the two big vessels, that duct is not needed anymore. They're going to tie around it now, close off that passage so blood doesn't travel through it. So that passage is no longer needed. So we're optimistic that all will go well because at the moment she's in good health and sick one and so.
Hazel's operation was scheduled for today. Hazel's mother, a pay clerk with the Provincial Health Authority, sought assistance from Ramuniko, who funded Hazel's travel with 5,000 kina to get her to the operating theatre quickly. Ramuniko Corporate Office General Manager Charlie Hu said the company tries to assist people in such circumstances. For Hazel, it is more of an investment for her future.
Maybe it's the little things for the Ramuniko, but it's the biggest thing for the children in her future. So maybe they're changing her life and then make the improvement for her life. Okay, so that's what the company is thinking. We try our best. We use our shortcut to make it available, the money. But it's not big money, small money. But anyway, we do something for the girls.
According to Dr. Yarong, Hazel will be operated on by PNG cardiac surgeons who did training with Australian doctors. Hazel's open heart surgery will be performed at the Port Moresby General Hospital for free, given that she's a child. Dr. Yarong said Hazel was lucky to have undergone screening quickly. Her heart condition is operable.
So nationally we have a heart screening program for children where the cardiologists or specialists, they travel out to the provinces and they screen patients with heart problem. So implayat sa bukimol patient ready mo na unsakam. Over the last few years, Mipla been missed out the click because of funding, so they didn't come across to Medang. But in 2021, they came across. All come in that year, and she was one of the lucky ones to be diagnosed that year, and I've been going for screening. And doctor diagnosed her with a heart problem that's operable. Some people heart conditions they cannot be operated on.
Upon arrival in Port Moresby, Hazel will have a pre-operative assessment to ensure that all is well before she undergoes surgery. Her mother, Leah Wangi, and father, Bat Kawai, are optimistic her operation will go well as Hazel is overall in good health. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
There's a sense of pride when you're able to do something right, a financial decision that has just really good benefits. With BSP Life Insurance, there's that alleviation of that worry when you pass away. The benefits of the BSP Life Insurance would meet those expenses on behalf of my family. If you're young and you have kids, you owe it to your children to make sure they're not left behind when you pass on.
With you for life.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hiding, talk, young or old, a scale race, family meal we're told. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite reminds. Tennessee cola, scale rice, long scale, scale price. Tennessee cola, scale rice, long scale, scale price. Amber, you like it?
From the rich soils of the highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans. Expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend. PNG's own coffee.
The Toyota JD Hi-Ace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hi-Ace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hi-Ace bus and experience the Hi-Ace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectations.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, Quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
And here they come, the Vipers. They got numbers to the left. Can they put the numbers? Here come Yanis, and there it is. It's a try to the Murrays. Look at the celebration. Here they come, the Hunters.
Blakemore, Marshall in the corner, Tenza! Bob Tenza with the acrobatic.
Here they come again. Low looking for his second.
Welcome back. Share buyback agreement that Melanesian Trustee Service Limited is pushing to sell of Pacific Balance Fund to Sunrise Group raises concern in PNG's national interest. Minister for International Trade and Investment Richard Maru said this, adding that PBF is a stakeholder of Chuka Industry Limited to Sunrise Group, an Australian-owned global rice food company. He said in the agreement MTSL proposed to sell its 33.77% shareholding for approximately $17.5 million to Sunrise Group, whom owns 66.23% of Chukai shares. He said MTSL has no powers to act on this sale because its trustee license expired in 2017 and is yet to be renewed. Secondly, the unit holders of PBF were not consulted. Minister Maru said the proposal is a surprise to the industry stakeholders, including the Capital Market Industry Regulator, the Securities Commission of PNG. Maru said the government has directed the Securities Commission of PNG to conduct an investigation into the proposed sale to determine whether or not MTSL has a valid capital market license to operate as the trustee of PBF. The National Capital District Commission launched the Boroko Precinct Transformation Project on Wednesday in an effort to bring the central business district and the nation's capital to its former glory. Prime Minister James Marape, the three local members of parliament, witnessed the occasion among business community representatives and residents. The Boroko Precinct Transformation Project will portray similar transformation as it is with Ella Beach.
The National Capital District Commission launched the Boroko Precinct Transformation Project on Wednesday. City Manager Frank Ravu said the project will return the entire Boroko area to its former glory, with thriving business and convenient central location where peace, cleanliness and orderliness will be its prominent features.
Sadly, the significance of Boroko as we understand it to be, and as much as what we perceive it to be, has diminished over time. Boroko has lost its glory. But here, this evening, we want to declare that we want to get back that glory and even do better, get a better glory as well.
While the member for Mosby Northeast, John Cowper, reminisced on the former peaceful atmosphere of Boroko CBD, NCD Governor Powers Pakop declared his confidence in the city management and council to deliver.
Boroko Precinct Transformation Project is part and parcel of our Vision 2030 to transform our capital city, to make it a truly capital city that we can be proud of, that it can be a capital that contributes to the overall development of our country by setting standard, setting benchmark, and being the place where we can build our country from this national capital.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister James Marape identified with the old Boroko and acknowledged Governor Pakop for his visionary work and noticed MP John Cowper for iterating the orderly manner that Boroko Precinct is expected to develop into.
But thank you very much, everyone, for coming by. Mi hamamas lo luki mosem. You may got this moment where you may like modernize him, tidy him, clean him, straight him, face lo Boroko, and Governor, you talk finish. You walk him lela bit finish. Na no got money questioning you, adopting you. Me plus somebody na stop backside lo you, lo make him isla walk come up reality.
Prime Minister Marape reminded residents, authorities and businesses that they had a responsibility to ensure this project is successful. Frida Kano, TVWAN News.
Businesses in Papua New Guinea are encouraged to attend the inaugural Innovation PNG Conference, which will be held on November 10, 2023 at the APEC House. The conference is an international standard gathering that will bring the best of new technology, creative solutions and innovative thinking to PNG. The conference is a joint initiative of the Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Business Advantage International and Business Event Specialist. The event was launched today in Port Moresby.
Innovative PNG 2023 conference will provide the opportunity for PNG wider business, including the community, to learn from. Port Moresby Chamber of Commerce and Industry President Rio Fiaco said the event was a success in 2019.
And we're inviting the local business community to get involved. Businesses of all sizes are welcome, as are government and education institutions.
Topics that are expected to be covered including digital economy, digital government, how to develop an innovative culture, digital government, cyber security, e-commerce, artificial intelligence, and technology megatrends. It said this event will enable the business community to learn from and be inspired by the best innovators in the country and overseas.
Innovation 2023 conference will provide the opportunity for PNG's wider business and government community to learn from, be inspired and engage with the best innovators from Papua New Guinea and overseas.
The publishing director for Business Advantage International, Andrew Wilkins, said the conference will bring to light challenges in the PNG business industry and create solutions to these problems.
And that's what this event is all about. It's about identifying those solutions, it's about celebrating those achievements where they occur, and it's also, very importantly, about sharing the skills and know-how amongst ourselves on how we can develop an innovation culture in PNG.
He said the program is in two parts, the conference itself and the Innovation Awards, to recognize some of PNG's most innovative organizations.
The program itself is in two parts, as Rio mentioned. The program of the day, the one-day event, we're going to be flying in some very high-profile expert speakers from overseas, who are going to come with global knowledge about what's happening, particularly in the area of technology, so that we can have an up-to-date understanding of what's going on around the world. There's going to be panels and discussions. There's going to be case studies of local innovators in PNG. The last time we held this event in 2019, we had Innovation Awards. We're going to run them again.
He said the conference is not only about smartphones and internet, but the innovation of solving business-related problems in PNG. Wilkins encouraged business houses and the government to register young Papua New Guineans to participate in the conference. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
In its continuous efforts to mitigate environmental risk and impact to the environment, Octady Mining Limited has ventured into used tires recycling after it commissioned its tire pyrolysis plant in February this year. The new TTP cost over $30,000 and on average processes up to 3 tons of waste tire per burn and conducts 3 burns per week. OTML generates approximately 1,500 tons of waste tires per year, with an estimated 30,000 tons currently held in stockpile from the last 30 years. Used tires can become a major source of pollution to the environment as well as posing health hazards to humans and wildlife if not managed properly. Manager Waste Management Hendrik Means said options are being investigated to reuse the byproducts. including use of pyrolysis oil as a fuel substitute in OTML's lime kiln plant, char as soil additive in some of the revegetation and rehabilitation projects, and steel wire as scrap metal recycling through existing waste metal recycling processes. The Porgera mine-affected riverine landowners are calling on the government not to transfer the environment permit which Barrick New Guinea Limited holds. Instead, it has requested the government to facilitate a compensation agreement with the landowners before issuing a new permit. In a media conference today, the landowners said the old environment permit was obtained without their consent and in the absence of a compensation agreement in 1988.
Riverine landowners living along the lower Porgera, Strickland, Lake Murray and Fly River are calling on the government to facilitate a compensation agreement before it issues a new environment permit to Barrick New Guinea Limited to reopen the Porgera mine. Chairman Peter Papo said the environment permit be reviewed and renewed with a compensation agreement between the state and landowners. Mr. Papo also said an environment audit was never conducted before an EP was transferred to Barrick from Placer New Guinea Limited in 2006 when Barrick purchased Porgera mine.
And the impact that we get from the tailings that is being discharged from the mine is so great, and no compensation has been paid to us. We don't even have a compensation agreement whatsoever, and we are still waiting. Therefore, in our position that we submitted, we requested that our compensation agreement must be formalized before the environment permit is issued to Barrick.
Landowners are seeking clarity as to whether the special mining lease and the EP expired at the same time and why the EP was extended beyond the SML, which expired in 2019.
I visited the SIPA, we have written to the Prime Minister's Department, we have written to the Chief Secretaries, and these have all been fallen on deaf ears, and we are still kept in the dark. So we are now calling on the Prime Minister not to transfer the environment permit which Barrick purports to hold. This environment permit is invalid and it's illegal.
David Mundy said the amount of gold in Porgera River has dropped for alluvial miners who believe was due to mine waste. He said alluvial mining used to generate more than 5 million kina in a year for the local economy.
I started my school in 1975. My father was spending a gold to pay my school fees. And we were heavily relying on this one, from the alluvial mining. So when the mine disposal here, waste is in there, the area that we used to fend already covered with the thick mud.
Their concerns were raised in a media conference today. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.281 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2735 US, $0.4115 Australian dollars, $0.2430 euro, and 39.11 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, all closed lower except cocoa and crude oil closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed and ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed higher. And that ends the news segment. We'll have news from around the region when we come back. Stay with us.
It was during and after COVID that really motivated me to want to take up life insurance. I think savings is very important, and I think One Talk Delight provides a disciplined approach to savings, and it's a good investment to want to think about the future, because it's always nice to have plans for what you want to do later on.
With you for life. He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues.
But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in Milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in Milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Hardware House launches the low-cost quick build kit home, built with quality building materials from the leading manufacturer of steel products and kit homes, Atlas Steel. Going now at introductory prices: 1-bedroom kit home at 79,000 kina, 2-bedroom kit home at 99,900 kina, and 3-bedroom kit home at 125,000 kina. You can also opt for solar units to be installed in the kit home at an extra charge. For more information, email info@hardwarehouse.com.pg.
Superstition ain't the way. No, no, no.
Williams over. Here's big Tom Hazelton, another forward on the score sheet. Slices the Tyrell Sloan. What about the acceleration this guy has? Comes around. And the fullback electrifies Winstone.
To the left, can they burn the numbers? Here comes Yannis, and there it is. It's a try to the Burrows. Look at the celebration. Seconds remaining over the top. Here's Connors, and here's Wellen. Saving the best for last.
Welcome back. In regional news, Pacific Island nationals brought to Australia under a workforce scheme to bolster regional economic and diplomatic ties have abandoned the program by a nearly 10-fold increase in the past 5 years, with some complaining of racking up debt while languishing for months without work. While employers accused the government of aiding the black market because of the low numbers of visas being cancelled after labourers abscond from farmers, workers are being left without enough money to feed themselves, leaving charities to step in. The federal government will mandate workers under the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Scheme to receive at least 30 hours of work every week to avoid their pay being swallowed by deductions for accommodation, transport and airfares. Australian Workers Union Acting National Secretary Stacey Chinell said workers were charged ridiculous rent for the privilege of staying in accommodation that would be actually considered inhumane by international standards. The Northern Territory's emergency services have united to urge Canberra's outdoor enthusiasts to be better prepared when they head into the bush. It follows a spate of search and rescue missions for people stranded or lost in Namadgi National Park and the Brindabellas.
Off the beaten path and into the danger zone. The trail runner had been exploring Namadgi National Park with friends when disaster struck, around 30 kilometres south of Thawa. Despite thermals, waterproof clothing and enough supplies, the trio had hypothermia when rescuers reached them the next morning. Emergency services are full of praise for personal locator beacons or PLBs, but want outdoor adventurers to go back to basics, like maps and a compass, following 5 search and rescue missions in as many weeks. All 5 were found with only minor injuries after using PLBs or mobile phones, but the outcome could have been very different, staying on the safe side of the great outdoors.
Life on the land comes with its challenges, but for women in outback Queensland, it's also providing artistic inspiration.
The red dirt isn't just a playground for Shona Underwood, it's also her muse. The grazier lives on a sprawling cattle station in southwest Queensland. When she's not tending to her stock or balancing station duties, she's in the studio.
It's just the openness, the space, the yellow, the gold, the sun, the gold on the grass. The openness out here, I guess, is quite breathtaking.
The artist draws inspiration from the ups and downs of life on the land. A close call with death spurred her to pick up the palette.
The vehicle rolled about 3 times, but there were positive things that came out of it. My appreciation for life and my body and everything that I can do.
The harsh landscape of Western Queensland has inspired generations of artists. And with scenery like this, it's not hard to see why. Lynn Barnes has her own art gallery in Quilpie, showcasing her love of the land. Her work is held in private and corporate collections around the world.
And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Back home, regional forecast for the next 24 hours, Southern and Momase region, isolated showers, New Guinea Islands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, becoming isolated over New Britain, Highlands region, isolated showers, then scattered morning fog. And that ends the news segment. In Sports with Terry, Sports Leadership Workshop and Government Back Sports.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain tamer, when quality counts.
Start your day by doing the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate. Wake up. Brush your teeth. And smile. Smile throughout your day with Colgate.
Hey, Rugby League fanatics! Want to watch the State of Origin game 3 live in Sydney? Buy a new postpaid TV kit today for only 199 kina plus a plan for as low as 85 kina monthly with equivalent deposit and go into a draw to win. So what are you waiting for? Visit our Digital HQ shop at Gordon's on weekdays between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. or dial 1515 to speak to a TV agent to get your postpaid TV plan today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
I'm doing a repipe up at Tim Whitner's place. At least we know he's good for it. What do you want? The money.
Last chance, plumber! So make us a deal.
Here's the deal. You get nothing.
There's nowhere to hide!
Crawl Space. Premieres Saturday, July 1st, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Straight through the middle of them. Nielsen straight down the middle. Oh, Nielsen. Oh, Winky. What play by Penrith.
There's nothing more intense than this thing. I've been in racing my entire life since I was 3 or 4 years old. Anytime you get in one of these things, your life is in danger.
There's no room for error. I mean, this is life or death. I'm determined.
We travel across the country with this beast, and people just go nuts.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ando. Join me on the river of worship.
God help me now. God will work it out. Oh, I know God will work it out. One thing I know, one thing I found. Oh, my God will work it out.
And thanks for staying with us. A two-day sports leadership strategy workshop got underway today at the Tarama Aquatic Centre in Port Moresby. Called Building World-Class Sports Leadership Strategy, the workshop brings together sports administrators and coaches from various sporting organizations and government agencies to share ideas and experiences on leadership programs. In attendance to the Sports Leadership Strategy Workshop were sports administrators and coaches from the various sporting codes: PNG RFL, PNG Basketball, PNG Boxing, PNG Cricket, PNG AFL and PNG Football Association. In his keynote address, Minister for Sports Don Polia defined sport leadership as the action of guiding players to perform their best. He says sports leadership use this trait to encourage players to practice, develop specific skills and perform well under pressure. While coaches, assistant coaches and team captains are in formal leadership roles, other players can make informal leadership roles by having positive interactions with teammates continuously.
So sportsmanship and sports leadership, sportswomanship, and you talk about building world-class sports leadership, it comes at those commitments. You cannot just attain something. Like in Papua New Guinea, people think that everything comes just like this from the sky. No, it works that way. What we do, as sports leader, like a coach or a team manager, we go check out what the other team player will see. If he's a volleyball player, and if the volleyball player doesn't turn up for training, and he or she is ill, I think that leadership would normally go to the house. How are you? Are you okay? Can I help you in some ways? To get a team spirit together to have that culture develop, where you have the solidarity of friendship as well.
As Minister responsible for the higher education sector and sport, Polia plans to make sport as part of the higher education curriculum. The main objective of the plan is to ensure that higher education institutions in PNG view sport as an integral element of the institution's activities that will contribute not only to achieving college or university development, but also to the foundation of a strong and healthy society.
So what you're doing now is you are developing sports leaders in men and women, sport leadership in men and women, to become world leaders in sports. And I'm sure you will build in them that quality they might not have. They can become leaders. I believe in Papua New Guinea to be very brilliant, very intelligent. It's just that we need to be guided with the proper programs and skills and proper mentors, the teachers, and then you'll find we become better. But some of those habits that only be realized, like saying Bill Nut and all those others, the cultural things that come with us, those things we must get rid of them. Because if you want to become a world-class sports leader, you have to get rid of some of those cultural things.
In his concluding remarks, Minister Polya encouraged participants to have certain key characteristics that must be applied when running a sporting organization, facility or commercial business, and that is to always stay positive, encourage the rest of the team, exclude no one, have good communication skills, admit mistakes, and continually look to improve.
With only 5 months away from the Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands, Team PNG is on track with its lead-up preparations. When providing an update and situation report on the team, Secretary-General PNG Olympic Committee Ovita Rapila confidently said over the past weeks they've had justification committee meetings with all 24 sports and going through qualification and selection processes, which is prerequisite to finalizing the teams.
The Justification Committee, we've gone through that process. We're reviewing all of the teams that have been put forward to us, and we will be communicating decisions of the Justification Committee. We want to ensure that the teams put forward by each of the national federations are teams that are going to be competitive at the Games and meet our Games performance standards for Team PNG. So that's where we're at right now. A lot of the sports right now are going through a lot of intense preparation in the final phase of their preparations going into the Games, and it's quite busy now for most of the sports, and some of them have lead-up competitions, international competitions. Some of them right now have championships and training camps, and it's all happening right now in this going into the second half of the year.
The mechanics and formulation of a proposed tax rebate program has been initiated by the Marape Rosso government for companies and firms who continuously support and sponsor sport in the country. This is part of the government's initiative or incentive plan to encourage more participation by major stakeholders and corporate partners to support the government in terms of sponsorship, which is also important to human integral development.
Minister for Higher Education and Sports John Polya reaffirmed the government's commitment to investing in sport when officiating at the Sports Leadership Strategy Workshop at the Torama Aquatic Centre, Port Moresby today. Minister Polya said the government's commitment to sport in the country has been ongoing from past to present and will continue. The minister took time to acknowledge and thank corporate sponsors in the government and private sectors for their unwavering support to sport in the country. It has been crucial to integral human development. Polya also revealed the government's latest incentive plan to introduce the proposed tax rebate program for companies and firms that have continued to invest in sport.
Prioritizing sports as a very important integral human development program. Is encouraging stakeholders, participants, businesses, corporate citizens, individuals, professionals and so forth across the width and breadth of Papua New Guinea to support and sponsor all the motor sports in Papua New Guinea, all the federations. We have 44 federations. And if you do that, and what the government will do is to incentivize that continuous support. It has already made a cabinet decision. The decision was already made, and that is to give back the tax you pay for supporting the sports. You will be benefiting from that tax rebate program.
Polya also revealed the government's commitment of 12 million kina to the PNG Olympic Committee for Team PNG to the upcoming Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands. which is consistent with the current government strategy to invest more in sport and integral human development.
Government support is very consistent. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet support it so strongly. About 3 weeks ago, approximately, I think about a month ago, 12 million kina, as requested by the Olympics Committee, Ms. Avila was made available for the purposes, 12 million. So that's how strong the government is supporting.
Former Queensland Reds and Brumbies star Aiden Toa will play for Moniplus Nova in round 12 of the Pepsi Capital Rugby Union clash against Gangloff Consulting University Piggies on Saturday at the Bava Rugby Park, Port Moresby. Nova coach Eddie Galele said on Wednesday Toa approached him if he could join. The club is excited and couldn't wait to get him involved. Meanwhile, following Nova versus Uniclash, Credit Corporation Harlequins take on Kramer Osenko brothers, both teams coming off close victories last weekend, with Harleys edging out Simmel Defence by a single point, while brothers held off Nova for a 2-point win. Both teams are not taking this game lightly. The other Premier clash on Saturday will see MBB Mullins play Valley Hunters at 3 p.m, while on Sunday Crusaders take on Simmel Defence. In the women's division, Defence play University on Saturday before the first Premier game between Nova and University. University coach Rosilla Oki said her team is slowly but surely rebuilding, with most of the recruits being AFL converts. On Saturday, Juggernauts take on Sisters, and on Sunday, Novets will play Valley Hunters. The Papua New Guinea Under-19 Women's National Team has been eliminated from the OFC Under-19 Women's Championship. The junior Fiji Kulas secured a 2-0 victory, ending PNG's journey in the tournament. Despite the disappointment, coach Susan Wetpo expressed pride in her team's improvement performance.
Kasanita Tapua has been the hero for Fiji in their final Group B match against Papua New Guinea at the OFC Under-19 Women's Championship in Suva. The 16-year-old broke down the right-hand side of the field, cut inside the box, and struck a lovely left-footed shot into the corner of the net after 40 minutes. Fiji went on to complete a scratchy 1-0 win to advance to the quarterfinals. Both sides had a plethora of chances, from Seruaya Laulaba coming close in the first half on a couple of occasions for Fiji, while Neni Elipas almost scored late in the spell for PNG. Trailing 1-0 at the break, it was PNG who came out firing in the second spell. Substitute Karen Kalapai fired against the post, and Eileen David blasted over from point-blank range when all it required was a simple tap-in. Evivi Buka made sure of the result with a cracking second goal in injury time. The PNG side will lament failing to convert any of their numerous opportunities. For PNG, it was a vastly improved performance following their 11-0 drubbing by defending champions New Zealand in their opening group match. Fiji will be relieved with the win, which guarantees their progression in the tournament, but will realize they will need to improve further if they're to seriously challenge for the title. Salome Vincent, TVWAN Sports.
And that's it for sports. Maricela.
Thank you, Terry. That brings us to the end of another edition of TV1 News. Pleasant viewing. Bye now.
Bye.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by